We are back. So I sometimes get my inspiration from Instagram, believe it or not. And there was this really cool page that got suggested to me. It's just Stoicism. And the quote was, "Your death will come on an ordinary day in the middle of unfinished plans, and the world will continue on without you. So live a little." And that resonated with me. As much as I like to focus on my health and wellness journey, it could happen tomorrow. It is what it is. I have so many plans and so many side projects. Even the tabs I have open now almost fill up that you can't see what it is. You have to click on it to double check. There's lots of little side projects, side quests, lots of things I want to do, but I'm not going to get it all done. Even when the joke I've heard too is your email is basically just a to-do list, and even when you die, you're going to get emails sent to you that are to do, and you're not going to be able to do them because you're going to be dead. And so, yeah, it's just going to come on an ordinary day, most likely, right? Just a random Tuesday at 12:32. Nothing. Most of us, hopefully, pass away in the company of our loved ones, in somewhat comfort, peaceful, painless. But that's not how it's gonna go. And so in the meantime, we do need to live a little. If you're listening to the podcast, you're alive, and it doesn't mean that you can't get more out of your life, right? We think we have more time than we actually do. We put things off that matter to us, assuming that we'll get to them someday. I do that. I'm trying my best not to procrastinate as much. It's just easy to procrastinate. Someday is not always going to be guaranteed. While the world will move on without us, the question is, how much did we truly live while we were here? Again, as a personal trainer, I love learning about philosophy and history, deep conversations, deep thinking, and I apply a lot of this to health, fitness, wellness, life, and I live it, right? My journey hasn't been easy as well. We'll talk a little bit about that, but it's taught me a lot about health as a foundation and living fully, and without it, right, we are just surviving, but we're not actually thriving. Sorry, cough. I can edit that out, I think. Okay, so a little bit about me. I got into fitness like pretty aggressively, lifting weights at age 13. But I was running on my own in like grade 4, grade 5. I was running on my own. Age 13, I'm into fitness. It was my escape, my therapy, my passion, and life had other plans. At age 16, I tore my ACL. Bad injury. And that was the death of part of me, in a way, right? Part of me died when that happened. It was a really bad injury. Knee bent back the wrong way, ACL fully gone. Finally got the surgery at 19. They literally had to take a part of me and implant it into that other part of me while taking out the ACL. So I don't have that ACL. There's a piece of me missing, in theory. I was someone who lived and breathed for sports. Now, I had a lot of anxiety and depression at age 14, 15, and then at 16 I tore my ACL, and that depression and anxiety crept back in. Even before the ACL tear, I actually had several attempts on my life. And obviously, that's I have another whole episode on that. I got through that, and that was another sort of rebirth. ACL, 6 months later. So I had to deal with another rebirth, and I made it through, right? I fought my way back, and I still had another setback. Hip surgery, 22. Once again, I had to crawl my way out of the pits of despair. Rebuilding my body, my mind, my spirit, my soul. A couple of years later, 2 years later, I think, after hip surgery, COVID came. Oh, cool, awesome, right? It makes us have to rethink about our lives, what's important. I actually became an online trainer at that point, and I started to build up this unexpected career. This wasn't my original plan. That would actually allow me to then to travel the world, live the best life I could live given the circumstances. And so life will knock you down, right? But you come back, you're a little stronger. Your body and your mind, they work together to come back stronger when you have these downturns, and it becomes easier to rise up when you do have these setbacks, right? My point is, I technically should have been dead at 16, 15, but I wasn't. And then life threw me another curveball, got through it. Life throws another curveball, get through it. Life throws another curveball, and we get through it. And it teaches you so many great lessons at such a young age, this adversity. I was going to say diversity. It's the adversity. And you don't want someone to have to go through what you've had to go through, but at the same time, you want them to experience and understand why those bad experiences have made you who you are, and you want them to learn from it, hence this podcast, so they don't need to go through the pain, but they can at least get the lessons that are taught. Again, your death will come on an ordinary day in the middle of unfinished plans, and the world will continue on without you. So live a little. Again, it doesn't have to be death. It could be a bad injury, a bad illness, a bad setback. You have things that you want to do that you're not going to get the chance to do, so you may as well do them now while you can. I had a good talk with my mom actually today. Her knee's bugging her pretty bad, and she was a little upset about it. And she has a trip coming up in a couple months, and she's worried she can't do it. She better do as much as she can in the next 5 to 10 years, because I'm not trying to scare her. Your health will diminish quicker than you think. And just because you're going to live to 90 doesn't mean that you're going to have all of your health until 90. And that's another thing that this taught me, right? I've been into fitness since I was 13. It was a great escape. It's my therapy. It's my passion. It's become my work, right? Forget about how your work and your life can be merged together. And I'm big into life design. So twice a week in my life, I actually visit a client who's at a retirement home, and I happen to see my grandfather at that retirement home. I like my job because I can go do stuff like that. I don't know that many people who can see their grandfather twice a week, randomly on a Tuesday and a Thursday at like 10:45, have a little coffee, have a little visit, and it's just built into your day. It's built into your workday. I have a very unique aspect that I can do that. I also see tons of people who are in their mid-80s, believe it or not, in these retirement homes, up to obviously 100, and they're not moving good. They're trapped in their bodies that no longer serve them. Right? Some of them probably did live full lives, have kids, had grandkids. Others, maybe not. And so the choices that we make in these younger years are going to determine the quality of our life in our older years. Again, I'm not trying to pick on my mom. You're going to get arthritis at some point. Your joints aren't going to work the way that they should. And you could always have done more in your life to have set yourself up for success. But that's not always going to be the case. Here's the other thing. I know my mom wants to travel a lot. Did she get as much traveling done as she could have before this time? Because there will be an age where you just don't want to travel anymore. It's not when you die. It's probably 5 to 10, even 15 years before you die. You're like, I don't want to travel anymore. I wish I could have traveled to all these countries that I could have seen, but I just haven't yet. So again, this is not to pick on my mom. It's just fresh in my head. I remember telling her I wanted to go see Portugal. Oh, Portugal's on my to-do list. She still hasn't gone. Again, she's 62. She's got time. But again, she may need a knee replacement. And yeah, you can still travel in that case. It's a lot more expensive. You can't walk around as much. It's a different experience. And so fitness and health isn't necessarily about living longer, although you will live longer. It's also about living better, especially later into those years. Imagine being just on a family vacation and you have two 10, 12-year-olds, you're on a hike, you're playing with the kids in the ocean, but you're not really able to enjoy it because you're out of shape. Maybe you're sitting on the sidelines and your body just can't keep up. There's a lot of people in their 40s that their body is already starting to give up on them. Now imagine still being in your 50s and 60s and being able to do stuff like that with your kids. It's incredible. It's fun, right? Where you have the energy to travel and explore versus spending your quote-unquote golden years in and out of doctor's office, doctor's visits, right? And the difference doesn't take a lot. It's a few hours a week. It's a few hours a week. You work 40 hours a week. I'm asking for 3 to 5 to put towards your health. Now, that's on a high end. You could do 1 and you'd still see tremendous benefits, especially if you're not doing anything. Now, I'm going to say 3 to 5 hours a week putting towards your health, your life. It's small investments that pay massive returns. So it doesn't all have to be fitness or lifting weights. It can be a good walk. It can be planning your meals, taking that extra time to meditate, do breath work, go to bed a little earlier, sauna practice. You can spend that extra little bit of time. And it's a small investment that pays massive returns. So many people are worried about saving for retirement financially, but we need to normalize saving for health for your retirement, building up your wealth profile, your health profile. And health is wealth, right? It's your physical and mental well-being, right? They're more important than your actual financial assets, in my opinion. You could be a billionaire, be sick, and die within 6 months. Do you want that life? Or you can just have your normal life now and be healthier for longer. And I would beg to differ. Most people would take I want health for longer. Great books, by the way. The Wealth Money Can't Buy and Die with Zero. They emphasize the importance of balancing this delayed gratification, because you do need money to live the best life you can right now, but you don't need to make it fully focused on money, right? And I agree with that. And it's not just about that. It's also about there's certain things that you just can't do in certain aspects of your life. So right now, I'm traveling around the world a little bit, skipping out the winters, because I can do it. I had a good call with my buddy Chris. He's been on the podcast before. He just bought a house. He can't travel the way he wants to. He probably even can't travel for a year or two because he's got mortgage payments and he has a wife. And he doesn't want to travel. But if he did want to travel, he wouldn't be able to. Or maybe he does want to travel. He just is choosing to be responsible and buying a house with his wife, which is completely fine, right? You should live a little. You should have a little bit of dessert, right? You should take those trips, right? But you should also give a little. You should give a little bit of time into your exercise. Give a little bit of time into eating better. Give a little bit of time into better sleep and discipline, right? And these are small sacrifices that pay off more in the long term. And that's what a sacrifice is. It's a travesty to have a life cut short, for example, and not have been able to have lived it out fully because you spent 40, 50, 60 hours a week being an accountant, saving for this massive nest egg that you just never got to use. But it's maybe a bit more of a sacrifice to take some of that money and then go ahead and at least enjoy it to the best of your ability. Even if you passed away at 60, but you had a fulfilling life, that's not nearly as much of a travesty. It's a travesty to get to 60, be 1 year retired, and pass away, right? So, yeah. Now, it's the power of choices, right? You can still work 50 hours a week. I still have to do that at times. I try to do it somewhat strategically, and I don't do it all the time. But you might miss out on time with your kids, right? Or maybe you cut it down to 40 hours a week, and you can get that extra 10 hours to make extra memories, right? Do you skip the gym sometimes because you're tired and you just want to lay on the couch? Or do you push through it knowing it's going to make you stronger in the long run? It's so ironic. A lot of people say, oh, I'm so tired, I can't go to the gym. You're tired because you don't go to the gym. And that's not going to help you, right? Fitness doesn't have to be a chore. If you hate running, don't run, right? Try group class, hire a trainer, explore different modalities. Remember, it's your responsibility to find a way to enjoy health and fitness, because health and fitness is going to be a great choice for your future, right? Little discomfort now also saves you a lot of suffering later. And so, yeah, you might suffer a little bit in the moment. It's going to pay dividends long term. And so maybe you just need to make those connections, right? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be a bodybuilder, right? But you do have to try, right? The truth is, no one ever regretted getting healthier, right? There's going to be things that you regret on your deathbed. I highly doubt getting healthier was one of them, right? I highly doubt living a little would be one of them. I bet you working too hard will be one of them. Unpaid work, or you're getting salary but you're staying late at the office. So we all think about this from time to time. Funerals, setbacks, unexpected tragedies remind us that life is fragile, right? The world doesn't stop when we're gone. It just keeps spinning, right? Indifferent to our plans and dreams. So what do we do with the time that we do have? Well, we just need to make the most of it. We prioritize what matters, and we take care of one thing that we can control, and it's our health, right? At the end of the day, it's not about living forever. It's about living more fully. And with just a little bit of effort, right? 3 hours a week, a few healthy meals, a little bit of discipline, you can unlock a richer, fuller life. And that has meaning. My challenge to you is to live a little bit more, right? Enjoy the moments that make life worth living, but also do put a little bit into it. Invest into your health. And it's not just adding years to your life, but it's adding life to your years. Pretty cliche, I know, right? But yeah, that's the podcast today. Please comment, like, share, support. Till next time.